one other rant that I wanted to do, but Matthew McConaughey had a very impassionate street
Mhm.
um, in front of at the White House a few
Right.
days ago. Of course, it was very predictable that the right then went to, took up pictures of every Matthew McConaughey movie where he either had a gun, and they basically were trying to say, why does Matthew McConaughey is from Uvalde, that is his hometown, and it was very interesting to me what he said. It was incredibly heartbreaking. The stories that he told. He brought kids shoes. He brought kids artwork. I couldn't watch the entire thing, but I guess the question is, do you think that it's going to take more stuff like that, celebrities and people coming forward? Because I mean, when you think of Matthew McConaughey, you don't think of a leftist, right? You think kind of like a Texas kind of good old
Yeah.
boy. You think of somebody like that, and do you think that they're generically speaking, that this will bring about some sort of tangible change?
Change. Um, I would hope so, but I'm not sure. I also am woefully unprepared for this. I haven't seen his speech.
Mhm,
It's on my feed, so but I know that he also went with a plan um for gun reform, right?
mhm.
So he like laid out a plan and everything. I haven't watched it, so I'm not entirely sure. As far as a celebrity though, I do think that the more voices and the more big names that you can get behind, I think that's helpful. And I hope something fucking changes, but we do live in an oligarchy where the NRA is very much in power. They invest millions and millions of dollars to our politicians. So I don't know, but I don't like to be that person that's, hopeless, and so I hope so. Um
Yeah, I think, mentally prepare yourself for it if you're going to watch it, because it is kind of a rough
mhm.
situation. Just kind of the stuff that he brings up. But I think it was very earnest. And I just think that, man, it was so fucking pathetic how Fox News and other right wing organizations just immediately try to just,
Yeah.
they're so well trained. It's like, not enough doors. The door was propped open. Video games, anything.
Mhm.
They will do mental gymnastics that are fucking impressive,
Mhm.
just to not have to say maybe we could use some just fucking common sense gun laws. Like
Yeah.
they just. Here's my question for gun advocates. Here's the question that I've been mulling over this week. You're a Second Amendment advocate, right? You're a person that believes that if you're an American in this country, you should have the right to own any gun, no matter how powerful it is, right?
Mhm.
You have a bunch of guns that you've bought over your life. An 18-year-old kid comes to you and wants to buy an AR-15 that you have, okay? And you believe that he has the right to buy it. And while you're talking to him, you're like, what do you need the gun for? Is it for hunting, home protection? He's like, yeah, you know what? A little hunting, a little gun protection, and I might feel like killing like 30 or 40 people someday. They say that to you. Do you, as a gun owner, still feel that it's your right, that you're still going to sell that person that gun? Now, you could say, well, obviously, if they say I'm going to kill a bunch of people, I'm not going to sell them that gun. Or if you're just a second, if you believe so hardcore that even damaged and mentally ill people should have massacre causing guns, then there is literally no hope for you as a human being, I believe.
Yeah.
I think that if at any point you take a look at that question and say, well, if they specifically said, I'm going to use this gun to kill a bunch of people, if somebody's told you that and you're like, well, that's your right as an American, here's your gun, right? Then you're a piece of shit, I think. If at any point you're like, wait, well, I guess I don't. If you even paused, then you guess what? You are literally what the common sense law is for. What the common sense law is against: raise the age, because as we've said time and time again, a lot of these people buy their guns legally, and they had to wait till they were 18 because they couldn't legally buy the gun because their family wouldn't buy them a gun because they knew they were a little weird. So they had to wait to be able to buy that gun legally themselves.
Mhm.
And maybe they couldn't buy that gun illegally, because I think in some essences illegal gun brokers are probably a little bit more less cold-blooded than a gun manufacturer in a gun store that doesn't care what you do with your gun. So to pull the criminals will always find a way to buy guns. I understand that. I understand that gangsters, cartel members, bank robbers, assassins will always be able to go to the black market. But those are not the people we're trying to keep guns away. As weird as it sounds, we're trying to keep guns from people that are going to do irrational things with them, further irrational things for them, and put innocent lives at stake. So, and what do you plan to do with this gun? What is your mental health like? What is the vibe check? And based on answering those questions in a weird way, that might stop somebody from being able to legally buy a gun. So if you would not sell somebody a gun if they told you that they were going to do something horrible with it, then that is precisely what the common sense gun laws are trying to avoid. They're trying to weed out people that are trying to buy these guns for very specific evil reasons, either by giving them a cooling off period, either by doing a mental evaluation, a training, background check, red flag check, etc. So again, nobody's ever going to take your guns. I fully support people's ability to use guns and to keep guns, because like I said, the chance of government tyranny is never zero. The chance of home invasion or crimes against you and your family is never zero. The threat of a zombie apocalypse or a revolution is never zero.
Yeah.
So I believe we should have ability to this gun. All I am advocating for is common sense regulation, so that the people that own guns are the people like you, Second Amendment people who believe in liberty, justice, pay their taxes, are not insane, are not horribly racist, etc., etc. That's all we want. Yeah. So that's my gun take for the day.